Howdy folks, this is Jared with Fluty Homestead, and today we're going to plant a little sweet corn. Okay, we're down here in this new patch, and I was going to see here if our first two rows we planted have came up, and it looks like they have done well. If you can see here, it's about 2-3 inches tall, and this is Silver Queen. That's what I'm going to plant this year, and it's all come up good, looks like. Looks like about every seed I planted came up and the crows haven't devoured it. So today we're going to plant some more. I try to stagger it. I'll planted these 2 rows, then I'm going to plant probably 4 today, and then I'll plant a few more next week and a few more till I get it all planted. That way it don't all come in at one time and work me to death. So by the time I get this row, I hoe it normally 2 times, so I just keep working my way down the line, and before you know it, well, it's all worked in. So I'm going to lay off me some rows and plant the next corn, and then when I plant the batch after this, I'll be putting beans in this, and I do the beans the same way. I kind of stagger them through. So we're going to plant a little bit. Okay, we're going to plant some of this corn, and this is Silver Queen. I got right in the shadow, and the way I'm going to do it, I normally put about 3 seeds to a hill, sometimes 4, and then I'll thin it down, but no less than 2, and I put them about 1 foot apart. And that's all I do for it. Now I've got a planter. I'm going to plant some rows with it one day, and we're going to see which does better on the spacing. And the planter, you don't dig the row, you just push it and it digs it and covers it. But I always thought, I don't know if it gets it quite deep as I want it, so we're going to plant this by hand. A lot of leaves in this end of the garden, but they'll get mulched up this year. Okay, another way I like to plant corn and is with this old-fashioned corn planter. And with this thing, you don't even have to lay off the row. If you can walk and keep it straight, it puts it in the ground, and then the dirt just falls back in around the seed. And it's adjustable to allow a certain amount of seeds in. So this thing is how they used to plant these hillsides. If you can see inside here, I don't know, there's a little hole right there. And when you pinch that together, it pulls the seeds out of this hopper. And there's on this side, there's like a paintbrush or maybe horsehair, and it rubs that and only lets the seeds that'll fit in that hole come in. Then down here is a blade. It drops down to the blade. When you stick it in the ground and pinch it together, well, it opens up and drops your seed, and then the dirt falls back in around the hole there. And this in here hold about probably 2 pounds of corn seed. And used to have a little cover that slid on right here, but it was in pretty rough shape. And this is a Cyclone corn planter. Really old, but it still works great. I've got my great-grandpa's that he used to plant all these hillsides with as well, but it's missing the hopper. It just had like a little leather pouch around it. But I use this a lot for planting my beans in between my corn hills. When my corn comes up about 6 inches, I put beans in here, and I've got it where it'll just hold about 1 or 2 bean seeds, and I'll go and just pop it in beside each hill. So that's a quick little trick to plant stuff fast. And you just go and stick it in the ground, and then it drops the seed. Okay, I'm going to show you an easy trick to cover up your corn, and you can take a hoe and just hoe it along. So I've got a good nice loose dirt and deep ditch here for it. I'm going to cover it a couple inches, so I just take my rubber boots and I come along and I just bring the hill right over onto it. And that's the way I've covered up probably acres of it in my years of gardening. Once you get the hang of it, you'll know how deep you're going. It's easy as that. And you can do it any way you want to do it. This is how Jared does it, and you do it how it works for you. And this is how I've had a lot of luck with it, so that's the way I do it. It's fast and easy, and it gets my corn deep as I want it. Because if you plant your corn too shallow, it's a lot better risk of it blowing over, and I think the crows pick it out more when it's shallow. I mean, I think this is easier than taking a hoe to it. Well, that's how I plant my sweet corn. And another thing I do, if this dirt, I've already fertilized it, but if I hadn't already fertilized it, when I'm planting by hand, you know, I've got about a foot between my hills. I'll take a small handful, just to mean like maybe a couple tablespoons of triple 12 fertilize, and before I cover it, I go and I drop a handful between every hill, and then I cover it up. I don't get it on the seeds, but I put it between every one. That's what I done to these first 2 rows I planted. Other than I fertilized all this ground before when I tilled it. So that's what I do, and I just leave this alone until it comes up a couple inches, and the next week probably this first 2 rows will be up big enough I can bring a tiller or a push plow through and knock through the middle, keep it loose, and I'll hoe it once when it's little, put my beans in it, and I fertilize it with nitrogen. Then when it gets up ready to make tassels, I fertilize with nitrogen again, and I just hoe it about 2 times. They call the second one laying it by, and then I'll just let her go. And I'll put butternut squash or them Cherokee tan pumpkins in with this and let them grow in the bottom. So that's all I'm going to do for the day. Appreciate y'all watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Love each and every one of you. Have a blessed day.